doing a chapter a night. So, let me just snuggle you in. And we'll begin with chapter 1 of the first book called Winnie-the-Pooh, in which we introduce to Winnie-the-Pooh and Some Bees. And the stories begin. Here is Edward Bear, coming downstairs now. Boom, boom, boom. On the back of his head, behind Christopher Robin. It is, as far as we know, the other way of coming downstairs. But sometimes he felt that there's really another way, if only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it. And then he feels that perhaps there is not. Anyhow, here he is at the bottom and ready to be introduced to you. Winnie-the-Pooh. When I first heard his name, I said, just as you were going to say, but I thought he was a boy. So did I, said Christopher Robin. Then you can't call him Winnie. I don't, but you said, he's Winnie-the-Pooh. Don't you know what that means? Ah, yes, now I do, I said quickly. And I hope you do too, because it is all the explanation you are going to get. Sometimes Winnie-the-Pooh likes a game of some sort when he comes downstairs, and sometimes he likes to sit quietly in front of the fire and listen to a story. This evening, what about a story? Said Christopher Robin. What about a story? I said. Could you very sweetly tell Winnie-the-Pooh one? I suppose I could, I said. What sort of story does he like? About himself, because he's that sort of bear. Oh, I see. So could you, very sweetly? I'll try, I said. So I tried. Once upon a time, a very long time ago now, about last Friday, Winnie-the-Pooh lived in a forest all by himself, under the name of Saunders. What does under the name mean? Asked Christopher Robin. It means he had the name over the door in gold letters and lives under it. Winnie-the-Pooh wasn't quite sure, said Christopher Robin. No, I am, said a growly voice. Then I will go on, said I. One day, when he was out walking, he came to an open place in the middle of the forest, and in the middle of this place was a large oak tree. And from the top of the tree, there came a loud buzzing noise. Buzz, 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 buzz. Winnie-the-Pooh sat down at the front of the tree, put his head between his paws, and began to think. reason for making honey is so I can eat it. So he began to climb the tree. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed, and as he climbed, he sang a little song to himself. It went like this. Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wonder why he does. Then he climbed a little further, and a little further, and then just a little further. By this time, he had thought of another song. It's a very funny plot. If a bear were bees, they built their nests at the bottom of the trees, and then began having them bees. So if the bees were bears, we should have to climb up all these stairs. He was getting rather tired by this time, so that is why he sang a complaining song. He was nearly there now, and if he just stood on that branch, crack! Oh, help, said Boo, as he dropped 10 feet on the branch below him. If only I hadn't, he said as he bounced 20 feet onto the next branch. You'll see what I mean to do, he explained as he turned head over here and crashed onto another branch. 30 feet below, what I meant to do, of course, it was rather, he admitted as he slipped very quickly through the next 6 branches. It all comes, I suppose. He decided as he said goodbye to the last branch, spun around 3 times, and threw gracefully into a gorse bush. How comes of lacking honey so much? Oh, help. He crawled out of the goose bush, brushed the prickles from his nose, and began to think again. Think, 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 think. And the first person he thought of was Christopher Robin. Was that me? Said Christopher Robin in an awkward voice, hardly daring to believe it. That was you. Christopher Robin said nothing, but his eyes got larger and larger, and his face got pinker and pinker. So, Winnie-the-Pooh went round to his friend, Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest. Good morning, Christopher Robin, he said. Good morning, Winnie-the-Pooh, said you. I wonder if you got such a thing as a balloon about you. A balloon? Yeah, I just said to myself, coming along, I wonder if Christopher has such a thing as a balloon about him. I just said it to myself, thinking of balloons and wondering, what do you want a balloon for? You said. Winnie-the-Pooh looked around to see that nobody was listening, put his paw to his mouth and said in a deep whisper, Honey, 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 honey. But you don't get honey with balloons. I do, said Pooh. Well, it's just that you have been to a party the day before at the house of your friend Pickle, and you had a balloon at a pie. You had a big green balloon, and one of Rabbit's relation had a big blue one, and had left it behind, being really too young to go to a party at all. And so you had bought the green one and the blue one home with you. Which one would you like? You asked Pooh. He put his head between his paws and thought very carefully. Think, 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 think. It's like this, he said, when you go after honey with a balloon. Great thing is not to let the bees know you're coming. Now, if you had a green balloon, they might think you were above the tree and not notice you. And if you have a blue balloon, might think you were above the sky and not notice you. And the question is, which is most likely? Would not they notice you underneath the blue? You asked. They might, or they might not, said Winnie-the-Pooh. I shall try to look like a small black cow. That will deceive her. Then you had better have the blue balloon, he said, and so it was decided. Well, you both ran out with the blue balloon, and you took your gun with you, just in case, as you always did, and Winnie-the-Pooh went to a very muddy place that he knew of, and rolled until he was black all over, and then when the balloon was blown up as big, and you and Pooh were both holding on to the string, you let go suddenly, and Pooh Bear flew gracefully up into the sky, and stayed there, level with the top of the tree, and about 20 feet away from it. Hooray! He shouted. Isn't that fine? Shouted Winnie-the-Pooh. Down to you. What do I look like? You look like a bear holding a balloon, you said. No, said Pooh doubtfully. Not like a small black cloud in a blue sky. Not very much. Ah, well, perhaps from up here it looks different. And as I say, you never can tell with bees. There was no wind to blow him nearer the tree. So they stayed. He could see the honey, he could smell the honey, but he couldn't quite reach the honey. After a little while, he called down to you. Christopher Robin, he said in a loud whisper. Hello, I think the bee suspects something. What sort of thing? I don't know, but something tells me that they're suspicious. Perhaps they think that you are after their honey. It may be that. You never can tell with bees. There was another little silence, and then he called down to you again. Christopher Robin. Yes. Have you an umbrella in your house? I think so. I wish you would bring it out here, walk up and down with it, and look up at me every now and then and say, tut tut, it looks like rain. I think if you did that, it would help the deception which we are practicing on these bees. Well, you laughed to yourself, silly old bear, but you did not say it out loud, because you were so fond of it. And you went down for your umbrella. You went home for your umbrella. Oh, there you are, calls out Winnie-the-Pooh. As soon as you get back to the tree, I was beginning to get anxious. I have discovered that the bees are now deathly suspicious. Shall I put my umbrella up? You said. Yes, but wait a moment. You must be practical. The important bee to see if it's the queen bee. Can you see which is the queen bee from down there? No. A pity. Well, now, if you walk up and down with your umbrella and say, tut tut, it looks like rain, I shall do what I can by singing a little cloud song, such as a cloud might sing. Go. So, while you walked up and down and wondering if it would rain, Winnie-the-Pooh sang this song. How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. Every little cloud always sings aloud. How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. It makes him very proud to be a little cloud. The bees were still buzzing, as suspicious as ever. Some of them, indeed, left their nests and flew all around the cloud as it began the second verse of the song. And one bee sat down on the nose of the cloud for a moment, and then got up again. Christopher, ow, Robin, called out the cloud. Yes, I have just been thinking, and I have come to a very important decision. These are the wrong sort of bees, are they? Right, the wrong sort. So I should think they would make the wrong sort of honey, shouldn't you? Would they? Yes. So I think I shall come down. How? Asked you. Winnie-the-Pooh hadn't thought about this. If he let go of the string, it would fall. Boom! And he didn't like that. Didn't like the idea of that. So he thought for a long time, and then he said, Christopher Robin, you must shoot the balloon with your gun. Have you got your gun? Of course I have, he said, but if I do that, it will spoil the balloon, you said. But if you do not, said Ben, I shall have to let go, and that would spoil me. When you put it like this, you saw how it was, and you aimed very carefully at the balloon and fired. Ow, said Pooh. Did I miss? You asked. You didn't exactly miss, said Pooh, but you missed the balloon. I'm so sorry, you said, and you fired again, and this time you hit the balloon, and the air came slowly out, and Winnie-the-Pooh floated down to the ground. But his arms were so stiff from holding up onto the string of the balloon all that time that they stayed up straight in the air for more than a week. And whenever a fly came and settled on his nose, he had to blow it off, I think, but I'm not sure that is why he's always called Pooh. Is that the end of the story? Asked Christopher Robin. That's the end of that one. There are others about Pooh and me, and Piglet and Rabbit, and all of you. Don't you remember? I do remember, and then when I try to remember, I forget. That day when Pooh and Piglet tried to catch the Effalump, they didn't catch it, did they? No. Pooh could not because he had not any brains. Did I catch it? Well, that comes into the story. Christopher Robin nods. I do remember, he said, only Pooh doesn't very well. So that's why he's like 7. It told to him again, because then it's a real story, and not just a remembering. That's just how I feel, I said. Christopher Robin gives a deep sigh, picked his bear up by the leg, and walked off to the door, trailing Pooh behind him. At the door, he turned and said, "Coming to see me have my back?" I said. I didn't hurt him when I shot him, did I? Not a bit. He nodded and went out, and in a moment I heard Winnie-the-Pooh boom, 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 going up the stairs behind him. That was a lovely story.